Hi guys, Frostmite here, and today I'm going to be doing a deck profile of my Invoked Mekknights. I was putting this off, as well as the deck profiles for my other decks that I have, until the ban list dropped. But the last few weeks that I've been playing this at locals, I've been doing really well with it, and a few of the people that watch my channel and whatnot have asked me for a deck profile of this. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys. I actually go to two different locals, one on Saturday and one on Sunday, so I do get quite a bit of exposure to this, playing against Rogue and Meta every week. So there have been a few decisions that I made that maybe you won't see in a regular Mekknight profile, but this one's going to be mine, guys. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And I will start with the 3 Purple Nightfall. For those of you who don't know what he does, like all Mekknights, if you have 2 cards in the same column, you can special summon it from your hand. And then you can remove one face-up monster you control in the field. I think it's face-up. Actually, I'm sorry, it's Mekknight. I never use it on anything but himself, so I didn't remember that. It's one Mekknight monster you control and banish it until the next standby phase, your next standby phase. And if you do, you can add one Mekknight monster from your deck to your hand, which you normally search Blue Sky. Blue Sky, when he is summoned, if your opponent has any cards in his column, you can add Mekknight cards from your deck to your hand equal to that number of cards. And then I play 1 Red Moon, 1 Yellow Star, and 1 Indigo Eclipse. I did cut back on the Indigo Eclipse. I was seeing it way too frequently with 2 of those in my hand, and they were just dead. They're really great because this one lets you move any of your Mekknights to a different spot, including your Mekknight extra deck monster to a main monster zone. This one destroys spells and traps, and this one destroys monsters by banishing a Mekknight from your graveyard. And then onto the Invoked engine, you run the 3 Aliester the Invoker. Obviously one of the more important cards in your deck, the only normal summon in the deck, so really great mix with that. And then the hand traps, I run 3 Ghost Ogre and 3 Ash Blossom. For a while, I was running Gammas, but all too often I was resolving Pot of Desires and banishing my drivers, or I would resolve a Gamma and lose my driver and Gamma at the end phase, and I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. And the reason I was playing it to begin with was so when I tried to search with my spells or draw with my spells, if my opponent tried to Ash Blossom me, I'd be able to still get that search or draw. But the drawback that I was seeing with the driver was just too much for me to keep playing it. So I decided to switch it out for another Ash Blossom and 3 Ogre, which have been working really, really well at my locals. Alright guys, onto the spells, and I play a lot of spells. I only play 2 Magical Meltdown, because I do also play the 2 Terraforming, and I see it plenty with that. I very rarely have not been able to follow up by seeing a Magical Meltdown or a searcher for that. Although this weekend against, I think it was Pendulum Magicians, no, sorry, it was Guard Dragons, it was Guard Dragons I played against this weekend. I opened up Hand Traps and Called by the Graves, and I actually didn't open up any follow-ups. They did beat me because of that, but I was able to halt them in their tracks really bad, but I was not able to beat them that time. I ended up beating them the next 2 games, though. And then I also play the 2 Invocation, because you can cycle these, you can search them. I never really use more than 2 in a duel. So usually by the time I do resolve that second one, I'm either going for game, or I just don't need to resolve another one again. Then I played 3 Called by the Grave, because you need to be able to get around those hand traps. It's also good for stopping stuff like Salad Boy, getting rid of that Balinx, getting rid of targets for Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon against Guard Dragons, and overall it's just a really, really great tech. Then the next card is the 3 Mind Control. For some reason, I never see this card, except for when I see 2 of them. It's strange, I always either draw 0 or 2, but it's freaking fantastic, and when I do open 2, I usually win. It's great for clearing boards and for getting that extra material that you need to go into your Link 2s. Then I play 3 Pot of Desires, and remember, you search before you activate Desires. So this card is usually pretty good. I've only had it happen once where I banished important cards out of the deck because I hadn't been searched yet and I needed to do this. One of the games I lost this weekend was actually against True King. They had flipped Gozen Match and Imperial Iron Wall on my draw, and I had opened 3 Mekknights and 2 Pot of Desires and an Aliester. And I scooped. There was They had their Filled Spell and a bunch of other back row set. I wasn't able to do anything at all, unfortunately. And then I played the 3 instant fusion. This lets me bring out Millennium Eyes Restrict, Thousand Eyes Restrict, and there are invoked targets too, but I don't play those. Play 1 Scapegoat, 1 Monster Reborn, and 1 Super Polymerization. The nice part about Scapegoat is I kind of like it, kind of don't like it. I activated it twice this weekend. The first time I activated it, I won the next turn. The second time I activated it, it was to a different match. The guy just scooped immediately after I flipped that face up. He's like, nope, next game. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then Super Polymerization is great. I actually play 1 Invoked Elysium, because I can leave Invoke Mechaba on the board or whatever, and if my opponent summons something horrible that I would otherwise have problems dealing with, using Super Polymerization, especially against like salads, can be really, really good. And that is it for the spells. And onto the traps. I play 2 World Legacy Secrets. For a while I was playing 1, but I would lose it to Pot of Desires way too often, even though you could search it with Mekknight Morningstar, but I just never saw it when I did that, because I didn't always go into Mekknight Morningstar. But the other nice part is that I can bring back Mechaba, Purgatrio, and a lot of the other monsters with this as well. And it's also a discard target for Invoke Mechaba, so you don't get beaten over by stuff like Evenly Matched. So I did bump this up to 2, and I've been loving it at 2. Alright, and then on to the extra deck. The first tech that I really, really, really like playing and has done a lot of work for me is the True King of All Calamities. The only way of making it in this deck is with 2 Mechaba, and usually when I do make it with the 2 Mechaba, it's off of Invoker. So I'll make the first Mechaba under it, discard to search the invocation, shuffle invocation back in, and and then I usually will attack, and then I'll make this in main phase 2. And every time that I made this, I won that duel. It's pretty good for putting on pressure. You're trading in 2 Invoked Mechaba, which can negate stuff, and that's all nice, but you've got to have resources to discard. And since I play a high spell account, and against the decks that I was making this, I wasn't really looking to negate spells, and I was looking to completely prevent them from activating monster effects. So when I did open this, or when I did play this, it did a lot more work for me than what I think that the 2 Mechabas together on board would have. And usually I won either that turn, they would scoop, or I would win the very next turn. Next, I make Borreload Dragon, which is obviously free if I resolve a Scapegoat. And then for my Link 2s, I play 1 Mekknight of the Morningstar. Really good. I did do pretty well the 1 or 2 times that I summoned him, making it so that none of my Mekknights get destroyed. And then if I have Secret Set, I'm able to negate all over the place. Really happy with him. I don't use him as often as I would have expected to, but he's still really good. The 1 Phoenix and the 1 Cerberus. And then I do play Aliester, the Invoker of Madness. I found myself not using his effect to be treated as Aliester too often. But when I did, usually because I was using Super Polymerization on my opponent's turn, or I was using that Super Polymerization with my invoked monster to make an Elysium or something like that. And that worked out really well. And then I play 1 Link Spider, and then the 1 linkurboh. Linkurboh worked out really well. When I did open Millennium Eyes with Instant Fusion, going into linkurboh was really nice. And then there was a few times where I opened Instant Fusion and Monster Reborn. So I had Instant Fusion, Millennium Eyes, do the rest of my combos, make it into linkurboh, or just link it off into something else, and then bring him back out of the graveyard with Monster Reborn. So that happened, I think, twice this weekend, and it was pretty damn fantastic when it did. Next, I play 1 Invoked Elysium, so this monster is treated as all attributes while it's face up on the field. And as a quick effect, I can banish 1 invoked monster from my field or graveyard to banish all monsters my opponent controls of that type. So I always choose to just target itself and remove my opponent's entire board, because when I do that, him being treated as all attributes removes my opponent's board. And I also did use invocation to some of this a couple times. But when I did make this, it was pretty damn strong. I did it against... I think the only time I actually did make it, though, this weekend was against Witchcrafter. But it did do very well then. I do play 2 Mechaba, 1 Purgatrio, 1 cocytus, mainly because gameciel. I side deck gameciels. I've been thinking about playing the Earth one, whose name I can't pronounce because there are a lot of Dino players out where I do my locals. But I don't know, I kind of like cocytus instead. Not being able to be targeted and attacking while in defense is something that I think is really powerful. And then I play the Millennium Eyes and then the Thousand Eyes Restrict. And again, one of the best plays that I was really lucky to be able to pull off on turn 1 a lot was Instant Fusion and the Monster Reborning it. And that's it for my extra deck. And then for my side deck, I play 3 gameciel, getting over some of the monsters that you can't normally, or just mainly against stuff like Guard Dragon when they get off their combo and they make Beast and Crystal Wing and Equimax and Dawn Dragster. Opening up one of these is usually enough for you to be able to get over the rest, depending on the rest of your hand. So when I did go up against them and I opened this, I was able to get over their board because I was either following it up with a different play, or I'd get rid of Dawn Dragster and then follow it up with an evenly matched. That was one of the better plays. Equimax was the only other problem, and being able to bait him out with like aliester or terraforming or whatever was really good. I also play 3 Dino Wrestler Pankratops. Really good about him is that you don't have to control no monsters, you just have to control less than your opponent does. So he's a free summon and a pop, so the floodgates that really gave us problems, he can get rid of. So like the Imperial Orders, the Rivalries, Monarchs Erupt, or whatever, he's able to help me get over. Or other just problematic monsters, he can help bait stuff out. He's also a really big body. Then I play 2 Droll on the side. Really great against dangers. I didn't face any dangers this week. The guy who normally plays his dangers was playing something else. I don't think I played against him this weekend. I can't remember what he was playing, but I ended up not playing against any dangers this weekend. I do play 2 Twin Twisters. Really happy with this ratio. I actually switched these out for Cosmic Cyclones this weekend because after playing the Cosmic Cyclone, it just wasn't as... I didn't get as much value off of it as I would have liked to, and I would have gotten a lot better value if I had played Twin Twisters, so I switched those out. And thinking back, being able to discard Mekknights into the graveyard to trigger other Mekknights' effects or to summon off of Legacy Secrets, I do think that the Twin Twisters is way better than Cosmic Cyclone, and I'm sure you guys are going to agree with that. And then I play 2 Infinite Impermanence. This deck isn't quite built the way I wanted to. I want to put 3 Phantasmane in here, but, you know, I can't afford those, so for now I'm playing with what I got, and if I put in Phantasmane, I'd probably pull out the Ogres, put in Veilers, and I would not be playing Impermanence. But since I don't have those, Impermanence are really good, because I can activate them on my turn if my opponent does something that I can't get rid of, or that has an effect that, you know, it's not too bad on their turn, but when it comes to my turn, it's going to lock me out of it. I can play this, like Christia, or anything like that. It would help me get over that. And then lastly, I play 3 Evenly Matched. I was really glad to finally have this card. I actually picked these up this weekend as well, and the few times that I sided them and I went to use them, I actually ended up not needing to use them when I saw them. Either the person misplayed, or I was able to break their board. But the Evenly Matched really helps us, more or less, I think it helps in the True King matchup and in the Guard Dragon matchup, because when they have boards that you just cannot get over with ease, making that one gameciel, summoning out an aliester, and then going into this after you've baited out the rest of their negates can really, really help. So that's it for the deck profile, guys. Be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you liked what you saw, be sure to subscribe to me. Thanks, guys.